follow it so close, you can repeat it. And we have human conciliation. You are a human, and you have sympathy for people. You're connected. Okay, human conciliation, conditions, human aggression, and persons. Now, normally in a situation of conflict, if you take these conditions, change colors for you to see, and you direct in a conflict let's do it the wrong way. Normally in a conflict, when something happens in your family, etc., you take your human aggression and you send that anger toward the person. Because you are angry with something happened in your school. Let's say, we'll talk about some examples when we get through, but let's give a concept first. That person responds to your aggression, aggressive behavior. Aggression could be verbal or physically. I hope it's just verbal sometimes. That's violence also. That creates a barrier between you and the person. Okay? And the spinoff is normally violence. Either psychological or physical violence. I don't like my boss, and I send that anger toward my boss, and the boss responds, and there's a barrier created. And the spinoff is normally either psychological or physical violence between your boss. And you send that human conciliation toward the conditions. Remember human conciliation? And the spinoff normally is apathy and continuation of the status quo. I'm so sorry about them poor folks that live in the slums. I'm so sorry about them poor folks that live in the projects. The human conciliation toward the conditions. Okay? Spin-off, apathy, continuation of the status quo. So when you are in a conflict, we want you to take your aggression and send it toward the conditions. And let the person, don't devilize the person. Let the person remain human, because we understand that they're still human, they're connected. We might like the behavior, but their aggression, and we'll take this is the aggression here. I'll just draw a little arrow, aggression, and then take the human conciliation and send it toward the person. Let the person remain human. Give them that dignity. Because you're trying to win the person over, not win over the person. Now, when you do this, this will cause conflict. When you take your aggression and send it toward the conditions, it causes conflict. And this is what we teach you to manage. Was Dr. King guilty of disturbing the peace? He pleaded guilty, absolutely. He disturbed negative peace, peace with no justice. Okay? That caused conflict. And that's what was managed in the movement. Nonviolent, I was polarizing by pointing fingers at the top. My concern was education, and my method was to go and start bashing heads when I thought that there was a problem, or talking about how bad people were in the system. I was polarizing. That was a normal way that we solved conflict. We pointed fingers and polarized people. Dr. King and said, no, if you want to have change, or if you want to just feel good about what you just told somebody, okay, or ego trip, or do you want to have serious change? Do you want to cuss somebody out and tell them how much bad language you know, or do you want to change conditions? So Dr. King said, in this we have to not devilize the top, because the top has the power. Okay? You don't have the power because you can only demand temporary power. For instance, when I was a police captain and something went wrong with the police department, they would mobilize and protest at my police station. And the first day we'd have 100 people. Second day we'd have 20 people. The third day we'd have 5 people protest. Different than protesting the movement. Because you can't sustain that. In Columbus, when something happens to the schools or something, everybody gets together and marches. Well, it looks good, but you're just really wearing out shoe leather. Because nothing changes. Okay? Now here's what happens. the top has the power to change, but no legitimacy with the bottom normally, and the bottom has an energy and a goodwill, then we have to connect somehow the top and the bottom. That becomes you, the third force. Once the issue is framed, we're going to talk about that later, once the issue is framed and the issue is articulated, then the movement is, you've been hearing about the movement is when you tie in the issue that does not devilize the top or fill out the bottom. When your issue is across racial, ethnic, and cultural lines, single racial issues are very hard to solve. You have to go a coalition building. Dr. King never focused on just one issue with black folks. He took it to a human issue. So your issue has to be across racial, ethnic, and cultural lines, and it has to be so that you don't compromise the top or the bottom. With me? We're going to teach you how to do that. So then, this action that you have called top down, bottom up, this is a movement.
You can purchase the Leader's Manual publications at www.kingiannonviolence.info with a briefing, and the briefing booklet might be especially useful as you and a group of friends want to watch and discuss this preview together. Now let's turn our attention to the 2-day Internet seminar course. You'll be able to join this course as a participant observer of the actual seminar on film. Here we'll provide an overview of the course and the Leader's Manual curriculum. While not an absolute requirement in order for you to participate in the online course, you could greatly enhance its benefits if you order a copy of the Leader's Manual series, Community Leaders Workbook, before joining the course. By now, most of you will have reviewed the course description and Leader's Manual information on the IHRR website above. There are 4 categories of the curriculum: the historical context and Kingian legacy, the Kingian philosophy, and the Kingian strategy and methodology. The 4th category of mobilization and organization is presented during the residential seminars and courses. This concludes your opportunity to preview the IHRR's 2-day Internet Kingian Nonviolence course. The preview was designed to introduce you to the concepts, the faculty, and the scope of the training. You can enroll by going online to the IHRR website.